Breaking right now, more than 40 miles of freeway shut down. See where this boulder narrowly missed a driver. And we're out live getting new updates for you all morning long as crews work to clean up that mess. Plus,
it's inconceivable to me that we are at this place in time right now. It makes no sense for our kids.
There's just 1 week now until teachers say they will strike. Two big developments will happen today. We have what you need to know.
And calling in the big guns to keep Oregon's governor honest. Why local lawmakers want the federal government to investigate John Kitzhaber.
From the home of the problem solvers and the on your side investigators, this is KATU News This Morning.
And you are waking up to breaking news this morning at 5 a.m. on your Thursday morning. Good morning.
Yeah, welcome everybody at 5 o'clock.
Busy day ahead. Just a little bit of rain out there. Rhonda has details on this day that she's calling a good day. I suppose yes. Considering the long weekend you had, especially that we all had, it is a nice, calm, good day.
Obviously, it's all relative at this point, but yes, compared to what we've just been through, only a few scattered showers right now. Most of them are out in the gorge and over the Cascades, and with that you may see some breezy conditions, but right here over the valley, excellent weather. If you are going to be heading out just in the next few hours, we're just looking at a couple of widely scattered showers, nothing much happening over the valley at the moment. And the rest of your day here is looking pretty good too. 48 degrees is the start temperature, and by noon we could see a widely scattered shower or two passing through the area, but 5 p.m. I think it will also be fairly dry, and 53 will be the daytime high. It's tonight when the rain and the wind ramp up again, and we're headed for a wet weekend. And so we'll talk about that coming up in your forecast.
Now to our breaking news of that huge rock slide in the gorge. I want to stop for a second and take a look at this damage. We can tell you the person who was inside the car there was not hurt.
Yeah, that's good to know because we look at that picture and can't help but worry about them. We are on your side with live team coverage. We start with KATU's Lincoln Graves, live right there at the beginning of this closure in Troutdale. Lincoln, what are you learning about when this road can reopen?
Well, I just spoke to an ODOT spokeswoman, Natalie, and I wish I had better news to relay to you, but she says there is still no timetable here. So still a big headache for drivers. This is just one roadblock right here. Again, we're at the eastbound on-ramp to I-84, right near the outlet stores people are familiar with. ODOT tells me that crews, they have been working on this all night. It is not just a matter of cleaning up the slide, which they're still doing. It's also a matter of evaluating the hillside that gave way. They need to make sure that is stable enough to reopen the road. We are planning on talking more with ODOT representatives later this morning. They tell me they're on the way out to our location here to give us a little more info. They're also working on getting us closer to this slide so we can give you guys a better look. So we are around milepost 17 right here. This slide happened at milepost 61. We're a good 45 miles from that slide, so obviously a big chunk of freeway that's closed right now. I should mention, though, that westbound traffic is able to get through if you're coming from Hood River to Portland. Live in Troutdale, Lincoln Graves, KATU News.
Lincoln, thank you. Let's get now to KEX's Michael Convery. He has the time saver traffic to get around this. Michael, how do we do it?
Well, there's a couple of ways into the gorge if that's where you're headed this morning. Of course, you could cross the river and use SR 14 on the Washington side of the Columbia River into the gorge. Or if you want to stay on the Oregon side, Highway 26 eastbound to Highway 35 and then use northbound 35 to get into Hood River. That's a long way around, but those are the two alternates right now with I-84 shut down. Let's go out and show you the drive on the Sunset Highway inbound. We're looking pretty good out in the Tannisbourne area. Nice and light so far, 13 minutes into downtown Portland.
Michael, thank you. You want to stay with us here live on KATU for continuing coverage of this breaking news. We'll bring you any updates on that slide as they come in and post them also at KATU.com. You can follow them on Twitter by using the Live on KATU hashtag.
We continue to watch the situation with Portland Public Schools. There is now only 1 week left in this countdown to a strike.
The union will present a new proposal to the district today, but the school board still is taking steps toward preparing for a walkout. KATU's Valerie Hirsch joins us live from the school headquarters. Val, the superintendent could have a big decision to make.
Yes, Carl, if talks keep falling through, then the board is preparing for the worst. As of last night, Superintendent Carol Smith has emergency temporary power that if teachers were to strike next week, she has some options, including spending more money consolidating or even closing school temporarily. Now, it's not clear whether Smith would actually close school. All this time, the district's been telling us the opposite, that it won't. Now, parents have a new reason to worry hearing about this, and several of them spoke to the board last night.
This board needs to be responsible and negotiate a fair contract in good faith before a strike occurs and causes further disruption among our community.
The district and teachers union scheduled to meet starting at 9:30 this morning, and the district also expects to have a hotline up and running today. It would be the kind of thing where parents could call in. They could find out more about updates on negotiations as well as what the schools plan to do should teachers go on strike. Live in North Portland, Valerie Hurst, KATU News.
Val, thank you. I'm sure they have the same questions we do. How far apart are you guys on this, and can't we figure it out, right? Thank you so much, Val. We'll talk to you throughout the morning. Keep it live on KATU for continuing coverage of the countdown to this strike. You can find the latest information at KATU.com and by following Live on KATU hashtag on Twitter.
Happening today, State Representative Dennis Richardson and U.S. Representative Greg Walden will hold a news conference in Medford on Cover Oregon and a potential federal investigation. On your side, investigator Chelsea KATU spoke to Richardson, who would not reveal specifics. The gubernatorial hopeful wants the federal government accountability office to step in because he's concerned about the transparency of the state investigation requested by Governor John Kitzhaber. Some of that investigation's findings won't be available to the public.
And that'll be independent. We should not have the governor spending $228,000 of taxpayer money to hire another evaluation of Cover Oregon and then have in the wording of the contract that they don't have to disclose their findings.
KATU was the first to tell you about former state representative Patrick Sheehan contacting the FBI. He claimed Cover Oregon's project managers showed dummy web pages to federal officials to keep grant money coming in. The announcement starts at 9:30. We will be there and we will stream that live on KATU.com. While you're there, you can also read all our reports on the documents revealing misallocation of the grant money and the former project managers' responses. It's all there by clicking on the Investigators tab.
Live pictures for you here as throughout the morning we are checking in on conditions on the East Coast as those folks dealing with another major snowstorm. This is in New York. We can tell you all the snow coming down. These are live pictures right there. Look at the conditions of those roads and all the cars just buried in snow off to the sides there. A lot of people are going to be walking today more than normally there, right? At least 12 people have died across the South. Today, the storm system could bring more than another foot of snow to Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., and Boston. We are keeping an eye on flights in and out of PDX this morning. So if you, right now, you're looking live at the airport thanks to the Embassy Suites Hotel. If you know anyone coming in today or you're going to try to head out, definitely check in on your flight. So far, we can tell you at this point, one flight coming in from Atlanta canceled. A second one has been delayed.
5:07 right now. I think I heard somebody talk about this might be the 6th major storm that's come through the East Coast so far this weather season. Yeah, exactly. Let's get you to Rhonda. She could talk a little bit about that, but more about the fact that we're kind of quiet today. All right, time to check out today's question of the day. Here it is. What did a Yahoo survey reveal 65% of people do every time they buy a new car? Every time.
Regret it the next day.
No, that can't be it. Rita had a great guess. She said they name it. Did your car
right away? Okay.
Your car have a name?
No. I need a name. Does your car have a name?
Hey, you get going.
Please, please, please.
Send your answers into our question of the day. We appreciate you playing along. You can like our Facebook page and put it there, or you can put them on Twitter with the Live on KATU hashtag, or send an email with your guess to morningnews@KATU.com. We'll share your guesses all morning and then have the correct answer at the end of the newscast.
And we have some breaking news that we're going to get to, but first right now it's 5:11. 2 big car recalls in 2 days. This time it affects the brakes. So coming up at 5:24, see if you need to take your car in to stay safe on the road.
Yeah, but first, if you're watching your waistline and you refuse to ditch the diet for Valentine's Day, don't worry, we have you covered. KATU's Valerie Hurst found some easy, yummy recipes to try, and they're not going to fill you up. That's next.
And right now, this breaking news from Vancouver. Be aware of this. Police need to know if you've seen this 12-year-old girl. Her picture is up on your screen right now. Officers say Hannah Turkington was with a friend and told her mother she would be home at 6:30 last night, and she did not return. Hannah is a white female, 4'10", weighs 110 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. If you know where she is or you see her, call 911. And we are posting this picture on Twitter, and it's on our Facebook page, so you can like it and share it to get the message out to find her.
Let's talk about Valentine's Day. Everyone deserves to indulge a little bit on a day that's all about sweets.
Right, but K2's Family Matters wants you to commit to be fit, so we're on your side with 3 lower-calorie Valentine's treats. K2's Valerie Hurst has the special P-Town Eats.
Well, I'm in downtown Portland with pastry chef Carrie Merrill from Urban Farmer. And Carrie, thank you so much, by the way.
Thank you.
For helping us with 3 amazing desserts. They look so good. I'm getting really hungry, but I'm feeling relieved too, because you say that you made these lighter than you'd expect.
I did. I chose to do lemon sauvignon instead of lemon cream.
Okay.
A sauvignon is an Italian cream made over a double boiler, so it's super fast. You just whisk the yolks with the zest and the lemon juice, and it creates this nice foamy texture, creating the lighter yet intense flavor for this tart.
I'm trying this. This looks so beautiful. Ooh, it's sweet. And it does have that tart, yummy flavor. I like fruity desserts. But also, if you are not so much of a fruity dessert lover, we have a couple other things that we're going to show you in our next segment. Coconut and chocolate, angel food cake. We've got it all for you here. And again, fewer calories. That's coming up in our next segment.
Nice. Val, you had me at lemon. All right. Valerie has already posted that delicious-looking raspberry tart recipe on Facebook. Make sure you go like Val's page. She posts a lot of behind-the-scene photos when she's out reporting, plus recipes like all of these for her P-Town Eats. And you can find her facebook.com/vhurstk2katu. And we've also posted that recipe on our Commit to be Fit Facebook page.
Because it's light.
Yes.
It doesn't look light, but
it looks yummy.
Yeah, it does.
Great.
All right, 5:16. Rhonda's here to talk about the calm before tonight's storm.
Right. We have another storm coming in later tonight. It's looking like midnight or so when the steady rain starts. Not as much wind this time, but still quite a bit of rain on the way. Let's take a look at what's happening from Chopper 2. Great shot of the moon.
It's nice and clear.
It's nice to see the moon.
See it, exactly.
Thanks, guys. That's a fantastic view, especially when you're up in a helicopter and you can just shoot a gorgeous shot like that. Gives you a good idea of what we're looking at as you start out the door this morning. You actually can see some sun breaks later today when the sun comes up. And here is what to expect as far as temperatures go. We'll zoom down now.
Right now we're at 5:21. Some good news about those skiers who were trapped from that avalanche in eastern Oregon. Coming up for you at 5:35, how this rescue effort has changed overnight.
But first, if you drive or know someone who drives a Toyota, we're going to show you what to watch for to stay safe. The new recall, details on it is next.
And our breaking news from Vancouver right now. Police want to know if you've seen this 12-year-old girl. Officers say Hannah Turkington was with a friend, told her mom she would be home at 6:30 last night, but did not return. Hannah is white. She is 4'10", weighs 100 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. If you know where she may be, you want to call 911. We're also posting this on our Twitter pages and our Facebook pages, so you can like those pages and share this information. Get it out to everyone you know. What to watch for today. Toyota recalls SUVs and trucks because a software glitch could cause them to stop suddenly. The recall affects the 2012 RAV4, the 2012 and 13 Tacoma, and the 12 and 13 Lexus RX 350. About 260,000 of the SUVs and trucks were sold in the U.S. Toyota says the problem can cause the anti-lock brakes and traction control to turn off. Standard braking will keep working.
We have breaking news from Vancouver. We need you to take a look at your screen. Police need to know if you have seen 12-year-old Hannah Turkington. Officers say she was with a friend and had told her mom she would be home at 6:30 last night, but did not come home. If you know where she is or you do see her, call 911. Okay, if you have a PC, there is an important change you need to know about.
ABC's Marcy Gonzalez shows us what will be different and whether we'll need to upgrade.
5:30, we welcome you back to K2 News this morning. So when your meteorologist says, I like this day then we get to like the day too, right? It's a good thing.
Yes,
calm.
It's a good thing. It's calm. We don't even have any real showers around our area except for the gorge and the Cascades right now. So you're in good shape as you head out the door. Tonight's a whole different story. That's why you're still watching, and you should still watch. Here's a look at what's going on in the day planner. We have temperatures generally in the 40s right now. I think some of the best conditions we've had all week, 48 degrees, and we have clearing out there at the moment. You can even see the moon. 50 degrees by lunchtime. We will be up to 53 on your ride home, and later tonight after dinner, in fact closer to midnight, steady rain is back on, another storm system rolling in, and it will bring some heavy rain to the area. Details coming up on that in just a few moments.
We have breaking news from Vancouver right now. Police want you to take a look at this picture on your screen. This is a 12-year-old girl who's been missing since last night. Officers say that Hannah Turkington was with a friend, told her mom she'd be home about 6:30 last night, but did not return. She's a white girl, 4'10", weighs about 100 pounds, black hair with brown eyes. Take a look at the picture. If you've seen her, you want to call 911. We are posting this to our Twitter and Facebook accounts. Like those pages and then share that picture with all your friends.
More breaking news right now, this time affecting I-84. Take a look at this big rock slide. Look at that car smashed up against the siding there. This is just west of Hood River. Our live team coverage continues to help you deal with this mess if you need to head that way. So we get to K2's Lincoln Graves live in Troutdale. Lincoln, you can update us. Current message from ODOT.
Yeah, we want to try and give people some answers right now, and we actually have ODOT spokeswoman Kimberly Dinwiddie here with us right now. Kimberly, we know this is a big headache for drivers. This has been closed all night. What can you tell us about the status of cleaning this up?
Well, the I-84 will remain closed mostly throughout the day. We need daylight to safely inspect the slope and begin cleanup activities.
You've seen some of the pictures, and I know they were estimating the size of this landslide. Just by seeing those pictures, what were your thoughts on what's happened about 45 miles up the road here?
That is a lot of rock, and it is not going to clean up quickly. If you think about it, the rock covered the entire width of I-84 eastbound and even spilled into the westbound lanes. There is a big mess, and we can't clean it up quickly. And at this point, we don't even know if there's more that could come down from that slope. So we need to look at that before we can open the road for travelers.
And I've been telling our viewers, this is really two parts: cleanup and evaluation of the hillside, right? I mean, does that process take a while?
We want to make sure that the highway is safe before we open it, and safety also involves looking at the slope to assess if there's any additional rocks or other types of debris that could come down into the travel lanes. And if we find that is the case, we want to safely bring down that material in a controlled manner so we can avoid a future slide.
All right, Kimberly Dinwiddie with Oregon Department of Transportation. Thank you to her for joining us this morning. Of course, drivers want to know how to get around all of this. So for that, we go to KEX's Michael Convery with Time Saver Traffic. Michael?
Lincoln, thank you. And it sounds like this is going to be a thing that lasts all day. So again, the best routes, SR 14 on the Washington side of the river into the gorge, or you can stick on the Oregon side and use Highway 26 up over Government Camp and then on to Highway 35 northbound. That's going to be the alternate, sounds like, most of the day. All right, let's go out and show you with Chopper 2 this morning. They're flying up over the Jansen Beach area. Still a pretty good pace, I-5 southbound as you move out of Vancouver, across the bridge and down through Jansen Beach this morning.
Live on K2 for continuing coverage of this breaking news. We'll bring you any updates on that slide as they become available. We'll post them also to K2.com, and you can follow those posts on Twitter by using the Live on K2 hashtag.
We've been following this for so many weeks now, and now only 1 week left in the countdown to the possible teacher strike in Portland.
Both sides will meet this morning to keep talking, but as of last night's board meeting, the superintendent now has the power to close schools in the event of a strike. K2's Valerie Hurst live at the school district headquarters in North Portland. Val, parents have a lot of questions.
And so the district's trying to handle that, Carl. They know parents have questions. There is a hotline that just started today, and it's in order to answer questions about updates on the negotiations, questions parents have about the strike and what happens with their kids and schools. Now, I just called it. Operators don't start taking calls till 7:30 this morning, but it is up and running. Last night, no talk about whether Superintendent Carol Smith will actually close schools. These are just options that she has the powers to handle now. One of those options would actually be consolidating schools. The big issue, of course, holding both sides back from an agreement is that new state revenue projection that we told you about earlier. It shows that Portland schools will get an extra $4.6 million next year because of rising property tax values in the metro area. A statement from the teachers union says today's revenue forecast makes it clear that they do not need to keep saving for a rainy day when it's raining now, and they can do more than afford to make things better in our classrooms. The district says there's no guarantee, though, that it will actually get that much money.
Look, we're thrilled to get the extra money, but that money is based on revenue forecast, so it's not a solid foundation.
In the meantime, both sides meeting this morning at 9:30 to keep talking, try to hash things out and come to an agreement. I will put that hotline information on my Facebook page. It's already on my Twitter page. Live in North Portland, Valerie Hurst, K2 News.
All right, Valerie, keep us up to date, and you can keep it live on K2 for continuing coverage of the countdown to this strike. If it happens, you can find the latest information on K2.com and by following the Live on K2 hashtag on Twitter.
Developing news as the last two trapped skiers in the Wallowa Mountains are at a Boise hospital this morning. Rescue crews brought them down late last night. They are still working to bring down the bodies of the two skiers who died on the side of the mountain. 3 others were with that group. They were able to make it down to safety and call for help. Now to a story you saw first on K2. The Twitter account Clark Fession has a lot of teens and now parents talking, and it's one of a handful of similar accounts that we have found posting anonymous confessions from high schoolers. This feed posts sexually graphic confessions of these high schoolers. It's hard to tell, though, whether they're true. Who really knows? We did ask school districts what they're doing about it. None of the schools monitor social media other than their own.
But we do use a site called Safe Schools Alert that students and parents can report things to, they can text it to, they can call in, and then that automatically notifies us that someone is getting bullied or they see something inappropriate.
Now, all the districts said if they do find out something that's been posted that needs to be investigated, they will get the police involved. It was a student who came forward and tipped us off about this feed. If there's news you want us to know about, email us at newstips@k2.com.
So difficult to change how you, keep an eye on those kind of things. It's also new, especially to all the adults in the school districts trying to keep track of it.
That's what we say every time we talk about social media and your kids. You 100% have to monitor their accounts and what they're doing. It's a full-time job for you if you're going to let your kids be on a social media page.
How about a shout out to the Winterhawks? 14 in a row.
Wow.
They won at Prince George last night. Way to go, Hawks.
That is awesome.
Yeah. All right. It is time to check in with Rhonda. She's ready to go here to give us an idea of when the rain's going to show up.
This whole thing with the Seahawks is just rubbing off on all the Northwest teams, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Blazers have had a good season so far, too.
Blazers have a great season, yeah.
Getting back winning again.
Let's talk about what's happening out there right now as Chopper 2 flies over the city. We're lucky to see beautiful weather out there. For the most part, we have clear conditions, and they're headed over to the Selwood Bridge area. The cool thing about Chopper 2 is we get to communicate with them all morning long, and you get to find out where they're going sometimes before they even get there. So it's a good reason to be watching us and seeing what they're up to. But at the moment, it is good flying weather over the Pacific Northwest, especially over our part of the region. Here's a look at Viper radar.
Rhonda, thank you. We have Chopper 2 up over downtown this morning, helping out with our coverage. And again, so far, a pretty good pace coming across both decks of the Markham Bridge. Right in downtown Portland. Again, no problems locally in the Portland metro area so far on this Thursday morning. The big issue, of course, is the closure of I-84. And so we heard from Lincoln Graves on the scene just about 10 minutes ago. I had a live interview with Kimberly Denwitty from ODOT. They're saying it's going to be closed down probably most of the day due to this rock slide. So if you're trying to get into the gorge eastbound, you want to use SR 14 on the Washington side of the river into Hood River. Then you can cross the bridge there back over to I-84 eastbound. Again, westbound I-84, those lanes not affected. That is still open from Hood River down to Troutdale.
Thank you, Michael. Time for our K2 question of the day. What did a Yahoo survey reveal 65% of people do every time they buy a new car? Take a deep breath in. You want to smell that new car smell?
Sure.
Take a look at the guests that's coming in.
Head to the car wash? I don't know.
Keep it clean. Yeah, maybe
okay.
so. On your screen right there, you can see Becky says they quickly get those preset radio stations in.
Yeah, you got to get yours in.
1190 KEX.
Always. All right, what do you think it is? We want to hear from you, so send us a guess on Facebook or Twitter. Just like the K2 News Facebook page to post your answer, or tweet using the Live on K2 hashtag. If you prefer email, we are at morningnews@k2.com. We'll keep sharing your guesses all morning long and have the answer at the end of the show.
5:42 right now. We are on your side. Tomorrow, Valentine's Day. Do you have a plan? Those Groupon and Living Social emails can sure look tempting. Coming up for you this morning at 5:47, we ask when it's okay to use a coupon on a date like this and how much money you could save.
But first, the South may not be used to the snow and ice, but they sure know how to make the best of it. See where people are luging down the streets? Updates next.
Good morning, I'm Chelsea Cobda. I'm in Medford, and we're here for a major announcement about a possible federal investigation into the Cover Oregon collapse. Follow me on Twitter using the hashtag #LiveOnK2 for all the latest updates on this story.
Breaking news right now. Take a look at your screen. We're really hoping you will help share this picture and get the word out. Police want to know if you have seen 12-year-old Hannah Turkington. Officers say she was with a friend and told her mom she'd be home at 6:30 last night, and she did not come home. So if you do know where she is, you're asked to call 911. Let's help police find Hannah. Right now, most of the East Coast is getting hit hard with dangerous winter weather. At least 12 people have died across the South. This is a live look in New York City. You can see how much snow has come down and how slowly cars are getting around there on those snow-packed roads. Today, the storm system could bring in another foot of snow to Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., and Boston. And so you know we're keeping an eye on flights in and out of PDX this morning because of that southeastern storm. This is a live look at the airport thanks to our Embassy Suites camera. There, so far, one flight coming in from Atlanta has been canceled. A second one has been delayed.
And take a look at how icy it's been in Atlanta. That's someone sliding down the street, luge style. Lots of people trying some crazy stuff like this. One guy used a skateboard on a snowboard, actually, okay? Took the wheels out. That's a regular old snowboard going down the icy streets. So we say to our friends in Atlanta, be safe, and we're glad that guy was wearing a helmet.
Absolutely, because there's no control there when you're on ice like that.
And late last night, take a look here, a snowball fight breaks out in front of the Lincoln Memorial. That's how much snow is falling in Washington, D.C. And by the way, yesterday was Abraham Lincoln's real birthday.
They were celebrating.
Yeah. 407 snowballs being thrown there, at least,
sure,
at the very
least.
That's
what he had in mind.
Yeah. This morning, we have found what has to be the best way to announce school closures yet.
Oh, for sure. It tops even the Bohemian Rhapsody singing principal and drama teacher. Take a listen to them in case you missed that.
School is canceled. School is canceled. School is canceled. School is canceled. Because it's cold. So everyone...
You'd be calling all day long, right, to hear that
along.
notice. So, that was last week in Kentucky. Well, this week, the headmaster and assistant head director at a prep school in North Carolina came up with this.
All right, stop. Collaborate and listen. Ice is back and the roads will glisten. Polar vortex has a hold of us tightly. Wind like a harpoon daily and nightly.
Will the power stop?
No.
I don't know. Turn up the heat and let go. Sleep falling down like a million missiles, bringing school delays and early dismissals.
No school, there's ice, ice, baby.
They're awesome.
No school, there's ice, ice, baby.
You know that's their karaoke go-to song, and they couldn't wait for an opportunity to work it in one day.
And those kids are so embarrassed. Next time we get snow and ice, Portland, it's your turn. We want to see some creative school cancellations from our administrators. If you want to see the entire video, you can share it with your friends. I just tweeted this. You can follow me at KATU.
Oh, that is so much fun. I can't wait to watch it again. Don't say we didn't warn you. Michael, Valentine's Day is tomorrow, and depending on how you celebrate, it can get expensive.
Flowers, chocolates, dinner out. maybe a gift on top of that.
Wow.
Jewelry, I don't know.
All right.
We sent K2's Hannah Olsen to find out if people are looking for Valentine's Day discounts.
Well, first I should just confess, I'm a pretty serious online shopper. I have a little bit of a problem. So if you're like me, maybe you've gotten some emails about promotions, special sales coming up. So websites like Groupon and Living Social, they have some amazing deals. They also have entire sections right now dedicated to Valentine's Day. So I'm wondering, is it okay to use a coupon on your Valentine? I talked to some people in Southwest Portland about their Valentine's Day plans. Most said they wouldn't think twice about getting a gift on a discount or even pulling out a coupon voucher to pay the tab for dinner.
I don't think that would be a big deal.
Of course, if the discount is considerable, I would definitely.
No, that's not taboo. Gifts are gifts. I mean, if you could save money and get more gifts down the road, might as well, right?
Gifts are gifts, apparently. A lot of people I talked to thought it was kind of silly even to be worried about how much to spend, just as long as you're giving a gift. Maybe there's some thought behind it. So I was kind of surprised. Nobody really seemed to care about the discount shopping for Valentine's. But I also asked what people would think if their Valentine used a coupon on them.
Right.
Working on that for 6 o'clock.
Oh, look forward to the reaction on that. And does it depend where you are in your dating?
That's what I think.
You know.
First date, you probably don't want to pull out the Groupon to pay for drinks.
Or if you do at dinner, you kind of do it like this.
Right, maybe while she's in the bathroom or something.
You go excuse
pay the
yourself
tab.
and take care of the bill. Awesome tricks. All right, Hannah.
Good stuff,
ideas.
Hannah. Thank you.
Weather details. Rhonda, it's all about saving money. We don't care, right?
Yeah.
That just means they're smart and money-wise.
And after 15 years of marriage, you got Groupons coming
you
out
don't
of
go if you don't
every
have a
pocket.
coupon.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at what's going on now. Outside, Chopper 2 is out and flying around on a pretty decent morning out there, and now the moon is covered up. A couple of minutes ago, we had a nice break in the cloud cover, and you can see that we're still getting a nice glint there of the moonlight, but off and on cloud cover is what you can expect this morning, and right now things are mostly cloudy. Thanks for that shot, guys, up in Chopper 2.
Thank you, Rhonda.
What are you watching?
Well, the big problem is the closure of I-84 eastbound. If you're just tuning in and waking up this morning, again, a rock slide last night. West of Hood River has I-84 completely shut down eastbound. Westbound lanes are open. Here's a live shot. Our crew's out there. We'll have more information on this coming up at the top of the hour. But again, if you're trying to get into the gorge, SR 14 eastbound is your best alternate.
Good, Michael. Thank you. 5:54. One more day to find the right way to say I love you to that special someone. Why not do it with food? New this morning at 6:14, a local chef introduces us to another tasty treat with fewer calories. Kind of brings the guilt away on this Valentine's Day.
And pet owners know that losing their furry friend is a very stressful experience. So up next, a new app that aims to help reunite lost dogs with their owners. This is really cool. You'll want to check it out.
Lost dog, stressful situation for any dog owner. Now there's some high-tech help to help find your four-legged friend.
It's a new app that uses facial recognition for our dogs. John Pelomeno is the brains behind this app. It's called Finding Rover. He showed it to pet owners at the Westminster Dog Show in New York. His app registers a dog's face and its owner's details. If a dog gets lost, anyone can snap a picture to reunite the owner and the pet. How cool is that? And it has a bark button on there, so that's how you get your dog to look at the camera to take a picture. So we'll keep you updated on that. You're going to want to find more on that app. It says it cost $1 million to develop. He doesn't charge anyone to use it, though. His goal is simply to save dogs.
Yeah, if you find your dog, it's worth it, right?
Yeah. So we are tweeting out a link to you right now. We've been on Twitter. Carl's going to send it out right now. You need to vote for this week's winner for Cash for Schools. K2 and McLaughlin Jeep are giving away a total of $40,000 to 4 schools over these 4 weeks.
You have until noon to vote one last time for this week's winner. So you want to head to facebook.com/KATU News and like that page. Then click on that little Cash for Schools icon and then pick the school you want to vote for. We're going to be at the live winning school tomorrow morning on K2 News This Morning.
And look at Washougal because we're coming your way. As soon as, we have our orange on, their school colors right, we're ready to go out there and present your check. The weather kept us coming out there last Friday, so we are going to deliver their winning check this morning, and we look forward to seeing the crew out at Washougal High School.
From the home of the problem solvers and the on-your-side investigators, this is K2 News This Morning.
Lincoln Graves live in Troutdale. I-84 still closed this morning after a big landslide near Hood River. When the eastbound lanes might reopen, coming up.
Preparing for the worst with a week until Portland teachers could walk off the job. We look at the measures Portland Public Schools taking right now.
And later today, could the federal government start looking into Cover Oregon? The potential investigation on the table over the state's health insurance exchange.
It's a quiet morning. We even had some breaks in the clouds earlier. Here's what to expect for the rest of the day. We're looking at temperatures starting out around 46 degrees, 50 by lunchtime, and some rain developing later tonight after the evening commute and 53, but it looks like rain and wind ramp up again overnight. Details ahead.
Right now in the skies over Tigard. This is a commercial fire that firefighters have been working on for a few minutes now. You can see the trucks and ladders up over that building. This is at 74th and Durham. We've been told this is a dentist's office. So we're keeping track of this from Chopper 2. We'll stay above that. You can see the crews working on that fire right now. Chopper 2, one of many tools we have to get you what you need to start your day. We'll stay in contact with our crew up there throughout the morning on this fire. We're also on top of breaking news along Interstate 84 near Hood River, where the eastbound lanes of that freeway remain closed. They have been closed all night. Just after 6, I'm Carl Click.
And I'm Natalie Marmion. Rock slid and blocked 3 lanes last night. Crews are out there. They've been working all night long to try and get them out of the way. We have live team coverage for that slide for you this morning. We start with K2's Lincoln Graves near Hood River. Lincoln, crews, they're not going to have that freeway cleared out anytime soon, it doesn't sound like.
Not anytime soon, Natalie. This happened last night in darkness. It is still dark out here. We are in Troutdale this morning, and ODOT tells me they really need daylight to get a good handle on what happened at the slide area. So for now, eastbound lane still closed. This is one roadblock right here. We're near the on-ramp to eastbound I-84, near the Columbia Gorge Outlet Mall. And again, this is just one roadblock here. The landslide is about 45 miles from where we are. That is near milepost 61, close to Hood River. That's where one driver was caught in the slide. Just looking at some of those pictures, it is not hard to imagine how terrified that driver must have been. But ODOT tells me that that person was not injured. As far as cleanup goes, this is a matter of clearing the slide, but also making sure the hillside that gave way is stable. Now, drivers this morning still getting a little caught off guard by this. Again, we're near this on-ramp right here, but a freeway off-ramp is just right over here, and we're seeing folks come off there as they're being forced off the freeway, and of course having to make some alternate plan on how to get around all of this. So this is something we're going to be watching. We're hoping to get a better look, a closer look at the slide area a little bit later this morning, and we'll keep you guys updated.
I know you will. Lincoln.
Live in Troutdale, Lincoln Graves, K2 News.
Thank you. So we go now to KX's Michael Convery with time-saver traffic around this.
Yeah, Michael, how do we get around it?
Well, probably the best way, guys, to get around this closure, and again, it sounds like it's going to be most of the day. If you're headed into the gorge, just go out to our maps and show you. I-84 eastbound shutdown, as Lincoln mentioned. SR-14 on the Washington side of the river is probably the best bet. You can use that all the way into Hood River and then cross the bridge there in Hood River and get right back onto I-84. You could also use Highway 26 over Government Camp and then onto Highway 35 northbound to access Hood River today.
And our breaking news out of Vancouver for you right now. Police want you to look at this picture. Have you seen this 12-year-old girl? Officers say that Hannah Turkington was with a friend, told her mom she would be home at 6:30 last night, but she did not return. Hannah is 4 feet 10 inches tall. She weighs about 100 pounds. Black hair, brown eyes. If you see her, you know where she is. Call 911. We have posted that picture to our Facebook page, so you want to like our page, take a look at it, and then share it. Help get the word out.
Stay with us live on K2 for continuing coverage of these breaking stories. We will continue to bring you updates as they come in and also post them at K2.com. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter by using the Live on K2 hashtag. Parents, 1 week left now in the countdown to the teacher strike at Portland Public Schools.
The union will present a new proposal to the district today, but the school board still is taking steps to get ready for a walkout. K2's Valerie Hurst live at the district headquarters in North Portland. Val, a lot of pressure on the superintendent now.
Absolutely. The school board, Carl, is preparing for the worst, and so it gave Superintendent Carol Smith powers, temporary emergency powers to decide what to do if teachers do end up striking next week. And if they choose to do so, she has some options, including spending more money, consolidating, or even closing school temporarily. It's not clear whether Smith would actually close school. All this time, the district has been telling us that it won't. Now parents have a new reason to worry hearing this new info, and several of them spoke to the board last night.
This board needs to be responsible and negotiate a fair contract in good faith before a strike occurs and causes further disruption among our community.
The district and teachers union scheduled to meet starting at 9:30 this morning, so talks are ongoing. The district also has a hotline up and running right now. This is to answer parent questions about negotiation updates, questions about the strike. The number is 503-916-3260. I've already called it. Operators don't start picking up till 7:30 this morning, but you can leave a voicemail and you can even email this website, this hotline. And I have all this info on my Twitter and Facebook pages. Live in North Portland, Valerie Hurst, KATU News.
All right, Valerie, thank you. You want to keep it live on KATU for continuing coverage of this countdown to a possible strike. You can find the latest information at KATU.com and by following that Live on KATU hashtag on Twitter.
Happening today, State Representative Dennis Richardson and U.S. Representative Greg Walden will hold a news conference in Medford on Cover Oregon and a potential federal investigation. On Your Side investigator Chelsea Compton spoke with Richardson, who would not reveal specifics. The gubernatorial hopeful wants the federal government accountability office to step in because he's concerned about the transparency of the state investigation requested by Governor John Kitzhaber. Some of that investigation's findings won't be available to the public.
And that'll be independent. We should not have the governor spending $228,000 of taxpayer money to hire another evaluation of Cover Oregon and then have in the wording of the contract that they don't have to disclose their findings.
KATU was the first to tell you about former State Representative Patrick Sheehan contacting the FBI over allegations that Cover Oregon's project managers showed dummy web pages to federal officials to keep grant money coming in. So the announcement starts at 9:30 and we will be there live and we'll stream it live at KATU.com. While you're there, you can also read our reports on the documents revealing the misallocation of that grant money and the former project manager's responses. It's all there by clicking on the Investigators tab.
6:07 this morning. Rhonda said it's going to be a quiet day.
Yes, that's a good thing.
But it might not be a quiet night.
No.
So get ready for some rainfall. I guess the question for Rhonda is, when this rain comes, is it going to help that snowpack we've been worried about?
Well, no. Unfortunately, I think we're going to see the snow level fluctuate with these storm systems because they have a lot of warm air in them. So, unfortunately, the snow level went all the way to around 7,000 feet with that last one. I think it's the possibility again with this one. But I do also see some snow coming maybe in Sunday and Monday's forecast for the mountains as the snow level runs right back down again. It's really going to be a roller coaster. Let's talk about what's happening from Chopper 2 right now. We are now over a breaking news situation there. Photographer Mike Warner over a fire in Tigard. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a 74th Avenue in Durham. Now we're hearing this was a dentist office that had fire in the attic. Now you can see the Tualatin Valley Fire District has been there for about 30 minutes. You can see the fire over there at the top of the screen. There was a lot of smoke when we first pulled up on this about 10 minutes ago. They have really gotten it under control. Now they're just trying to put out whatever's going on in the attic. You can see the firefighters on the roof here. There is a lot of fire apparatus in the streets surrounding this. I'll pull out here. You can see there's a lot of units on scene. So I'm not sure this is going to cause a big traffic issue. It's kind of west of I-5 and a little south of 217. So, but we're going to keep an eye out for you. We'll let you know what's going on here.
All right, thanks, Mike. West of I-5, south of 217. Thanks for the update on that. Now let's get you to what's happening in your forecast.
Rhonda, thank you. The major issue on this Thursday morning continues to be the closure of I-84 eastbound. It's a 40-mile closure from Troutdale all the way out to Hood River. Here's our crew out in Troutdale getting the latest information from ODOT and a live shot of the road closed there. This is out near the outlet mall in Troutdale. And again, it's due to the rock slide that occurred last night a little bit to the west of Hood River. It was a major rock slide. Fortunately, no injuries involved. But if you're headed into the gorge, I think any time in the next probably probably 6 to 8 hours at least. You want to use SR-14 on the Washington side of the river. Then you can cross the Hood River Bridge to get over back to I-84. Or you could head to Highway 26 up over Government Camp on Mount Hood. And then from that point, go to Highway 35 northbound, which will take you up through Parkdale, back up to Hood River this morning.
Thank you. Time for the question of the day. What did a Yahoo survey reveal? 65% of people do every time they buy a new car.
Yolanda on Facebook thinks they try to get that whiff of that new car smell.
Yeah.
And Angelique guesses, make sure the radio or stereo works. Tammy guesses, it's a popular one. A lot of people say they take a picture of it. Probably put it on Facebook these days. If you think you know the answer, go to Facebook, like our page there, post your answer there, or tweet it out with a Live on K2 hashtag, or send an email with your guess to morningnews@k2.com. We share your guesses throughout the morning.
2 days of trouble for one of the world's biggest automakers. The problems that have Toyota recalling hundreds of thousands of vehicles just one day after it recalled millions of Prius models. That's at 6:24.
And next, you want a sweet Valentine's Day with a little less worry about the indulgence. We have another Valentine's treat to share that won't pack on calories next.
And breaking news in Tigard, Chopper 2 over a fire. That is at a dental lab there at 74th and Durham. Live pictures from Chopper 2 will continue to follow this breaking news. We're back after this. This Valentine's Day, we want you to have your cake and eat it too. How about that? K2 Family Matters wants you to commit to be fit even on days like this.
So we found 3 tasty desserts that are lighter in calories and they're easy to make. K2's Valerie Hurst has the second part of her special P-Town Eats.
All right, we're back with Carrie Merrill. We're at Urban Farmer in downtown Portland, and she's made us these beautiful desserts. In our last hour, we talked about the raspberry torte that she made that's lower calorie, a lighter version of what you'd find on a traditional menu. Carrie, we're moving on to the chocolate lovers right here. And tell me about your chocolate and coconut dessert.
I used dark chocolate in this. It has the, the great antioxidants, the great rich flavor that you don't necessarily need the extra calories from the cocoa butter, and I reduced my coconut milk, added my chocolate in there, then I whipped it. That's creating the mousse flavor, or the mousse texture. It's lighter, it's fluffier,
it's
and you pour it right into the dish and you're ready to go.
That looks awesome. And then also angel food cake dessert.
Angel food cake. Who doesn't love angel food cake? I paired it with the lemon sauvignon from the torte and added some fresh citrus, which you can get now right in the markets. It's fresh, it's beautiful, it's light and fluffy. It's very good.
Well, we have all of these recipes on our K2 News Facebook page and on K2.com. Give them a try and have a great Valentine's Day.
So Chef Merrill says that lemon mixture she described in those 2 desserts, using that instead of the regular lemon cream, takes out at least half of the traditional, the fat that you get when you make that traditionally like they do in a restaurant.
Yeah, we have posted the recipes at K2.com on our K2 News Facebook page and the Commit to Be Fit Facebook page. Head there and like the page to find the recipes and enjoy making them. They look good.
Hungry?
Yeah.
Actually,
ought to be, right?
Well, you have a lot going on with traffic situations. So
we got a lot going on. Yeah, let's get to it and cover it all for you here. We're helping out with Chopper 2 this morning. They're up over Tigard. And again, this commercial fire that broke out about half an hour ago, maybe 45 minutes ago. It's apparently a dental office at 74th and Durham Road. To give you an idea, this is about a mile to the east of Tigard High School is where this fire occurred this morning. Again, crews are in the process of trying to get that fire knocked out in the attic of that building. Part of 74th Avenue is blocked off there by fire crews who've arrived on the scene. Again, that's a live shot from Chopper 2 up over the scene this morning. All right, from this shot, we go to our crew out in Troutdale. If you're just waking up, I-84 eastbound is closed, likely will be, according to ODOT, most of the day from Troutdale out to Hood River due to a rock slide that occurred, again, a little bit to the west of Hood River. So SR-14 on the Washington side of the river is probably your best bet to get around that closure. It's important to note that I-84 westbound does remain open from Hood River coming back into town into Troutdale this morning.
All right, Rhonda, thank you. It is 6:21. It's the merger that could shake up the way we watch television. Maybe you've heard about this. So Jane King has more on that merger of Comcast and Time Warner Cable and what it could mean for our cable bills. We go Wall Street to Main Street next.
dropping. Okay, that's good.
She'll talk about everything but stocks.
Yeah. She's going to talk about Time Warner, though, right? Okay.
We go Wall Street to Main Street right now. Two big cable companies want to get bigger together.
Jane King joins us now live from the NASDAQ in New York to explain what this means for us. What's going to happen to my cable bill, Jane?
Carl and Natalie, well, maybe not much, which is kind of surprising, right? Now, first of all, Comcast is buying Time Warner Cable for $45 billion. Now, the deal is expected to be announced this morning. In fact, the CEO, Brian Roberts, has been on TV talking about it here today, so it's official. A little context here. Charter had also been trying to buy Time Warner. Time Warner pretty much laughed off that offer. Now, Comcast and Time Warner are two of the biggest cable and internet providers in the country, and just because they announced the deal today doesn't mean it's definitely going to happen. It does have to go through all the hoops, but there is very little overlap in their customers, so that does help their chances of getting this approved. And the fact that they don't overlap could also be good news for consumers. It means competition stays in place and cable bills may not go up much. Carl and Natalie?
So, Jane, more problems for Toyota. They had their second recall in as many days. What's the trouble this time?
Yeah, been a lot lately. Toyota recalling nearly 300,000 vehicles in North and South America for a skid control software glitch. Now, the recall affects the RAV4 SUV, Tacoma pickup truck, and the Lexus RX 350. They were made from March 2012 through December 2012. No accidents or injuries have been reported. It does follow one for the Prius just yesterday, which had a different software problem. Carl and Natalie?
All right, Jane, thank you so much. We look forward to talking to you bright and early tomorrow morning at 6:26. A Twitter account has parents and students talking a lot in Clark County. KATU was the first to tell you about Clark Fashion, and in our next half hour, we find out what the schools are doing about it.
We're tracking our breaking news near Hood River. Take a look at your screen now. Part of Interstate 84 closed because of this rock slide. Much more on what crews are doing to try to get that freeway back open is next.
And Chopper 2 has been over this fire in Tigard at a dental office or dental lab. Now take a look at your screen. You can sort of see that roof is sloping, we're told. So crews have been told to back off and get out of the building. It's very dangerous for them. This is off of 74th and Durham. Live pictures from Chopper 2. We continue to follow this breaking news situation as a fire there in Tigard.
This is K2 News on your side.
This is a busy morning. Lots of breaking news happening. We're going to bring you up to speed on if you're just waking up. First, we will get you your weather forecast at 6:30. Good news is a calm day, but it's going to get tricky this evening.
This evening is fine. It's after midnight tonight. So for those of you who work after midnight or have things going on, it's going to be very wet again. But look at this, Viper radar. Pretty clean here over the valley. Not a lot going on. We are lucky that we are seeing a day where we'll actually start out with partly cloudy skies, and most of the moisture or the showers will be mainly confined to the Cascades and the higher elevations. 46 degrees right now, 50 by noon. You could probably get away with just wearing a light jacket today, folks, and not worry so much about rain. 53 your daytime high, but it looks like steady rain will be occurring again late tonight after around midnight. Details ahead on that. But first, let's check out time saver traffic. A lot going on with Michael Convery this morning. What's happening?
It's been a busy couple of hours, Rhonda. First of all, Chopper 2 up over the scene of this, we think is a dental office fire in Tigard right near 74th and Durham Road. And photographer Mike Warner up in Chopper 2. Apparently this just went to a second alarm recently.
Yeah, it's been a second alarm here for about 15 or 20 minutes. And what has happened is when we first got here, firefighters were on the roof. They were chopping holes in the roof to ventilate. But the roof was starting to sag. They're saying it's sagging about a foot all the way across the building. So they cleared all the firefighters off that roof for safety. They have got the fire pretty much under control. They're inside the building putting it out, but that roof is sagging. So that remains a problem up there. It looks like they got it under control, Michael, but we're going to stay over the scene here and give you the latest as we get the information.
And again, that's 74th Avenue there right in front of the fire. And again, part of 74th Avenue is blocked off. This is about a mile to the east of Tigard High School where all this activity is this morning.
Michael, thank you. ODOT crews still trying to clear a rock slide that shut down the eastbound lanes of I-84.
K2's Lincoln Graves joins us live in Troutdale where the vehicles have been turning around, heading the other direction. Lincoln, what's ODOT telling you now about when this might reopen?
Well, they still need to wait for daylight to really get a good handle on what happened in this slide area. I'm starting to see the first glimpses of a lighter sky, so that's good news for them. They need to evaluate that hillside as well to make sure it's stable. So that means there's really no timetable for when the road might reopen. This is one roadblock right here. We're on the eastbound, or next to the eastbound on-ramp near the Outlet Mall in Troutdale. This landslide itself is at milepost 61. We are at milepost 17. So that really gives you an idea. This is a good 45-mile section of freeway that is closed right now. To be clear, it is the eastbound lanes only. Westbound traffic is getting through that slide area. An ODOT spokeswoman says this is a large slide, a lot of material, and although she had no timetable for when it might be cleared, she says folks should not be surprised if the freeway is closed all day long. So a lot of drivers still getting caught off guard in terms of coming off the freeway here. They're being forced off, and obviously they have to make other plans to get where they need to go. So we're trying to get that word out that this could be closed for quite some time, and we're hoping to get a closer look at that slide coming up a little bit later this morning. Live in Troutdale, Lincoln Graves, K2 News.
And I'm K2's Valerie Hurst, live at Portland Public School headquarters in North Portland. There is now just 1 week till a teacher strike here. Both sides, though, will meet this morning at 9:30 to try and keep talks going and come to some kind of deal. But as of last night's board meeting, the superintendent now has the power to consolidate or even close schools if teachers walk off the job next week. The big sticking point, a new state revenue projection shows Portland schools will get an extra $4.6 million next year because of rising property tax values in the metro area. The union says the district can afford to spend more and meet their demands. The district says there's no guarantee it will actually get that much money. Now, parents, we know you have a lot of questions. The district just started a hotline this morning that you can call. You can also leave a voicemail, and you can send an email to this hotline. Operators don't start picking up till 7:30 in the morning. This is for questions you might have about negotiations, about plans for schools in the case of a strike. Here is the number, 503-916-3260, and you can find this info on my Twitter and Facebook pages.
All right, thank you very much. We want to keep it live on K2 for continuing coverage of the countdown to a strike now. You can find the latest information at KATU.com and by following us live on K2 on that hashtag on Twitter. Breaking news in Vancouver. Police want to know if you've seen this 12-year-old girl. She's on your screen right now. Her name is Hannah Turkington. She was with a friend and was supposed to be home at 6:30 last night, but she did not show up.
You can see she's a white female, about 4'10", 100 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. If you know where she is or if you do see her, call 911. And we have posted her picture on our Facebook page and on Twitter. Like our Facebook page so you can share it to get the word out on Hannah.
Now a story you saw first on K2. The Twitter account, Clark County Fashion, has a lot of teens and parents talking, and it's one of a handful of similar accounts that we've found posting anonymous confessions of high schoolers. The feed posts sexually graphic confessions of high schoolers. It's hard to tell whether they're true or not. We asked school districts what they're doing about this. None of the schools monitor social media other than their own. All the districts said if they find out about something like this that's posted that needs investigating, they do get police involved. It was a student who came forward and tipped us off to this feed. If there's news you think we should know about, send an email to newstips@katu.com.
And parent to parent right now, the existence of accounts like that and the difficulty of verifying the truth behind the tweets has prompted a lot of questions. So we asked psychologist Dr. Sally Ramirez to answer them in a live chat on our Facebook page. Abigail asked if the children submitting the tweets are being serious. She writes, "I know when I was a kid I made up a lot of things. Additionally, admitting these things isn't going to prevent them from happening and might even bring a sense of reality." Well, Dr. Ramirez wrote, "I think the postings are a mixture of truth and untruths, but they are still expressing a need on the part of the students. Figuring out what they're hoping to gain or accomplish is a big task if parents and teachers are concerned about their kids." Then those conversations need to be happening directly and not on Facebook or Twitter. And that's the big one for parents. Make sure you have the conversations about social media use with your kids directly if you have any concerns about it. Remember, allowing teenagers to have a presence on social media means you have to monitor it. It is a full-time job. Don't be lazy about this. If you find any objectionable posts, make sure your teen takes them down. If you have a parenting question that you would like an expert answer for, then like my Facebook page, post it, and I will go get you that answer, and we will all learn from it.
It's always helpful to hear from these people who, as a profession, as their job, know how to handle these situations and give the advice that you need as parents.
It is, and explaining to your kids, you know, that a lot of kids brag about things because they want to look like they're doing something, and they're not. So again, try to decipher through the truths and the untruths.
It used to just happen on the playground. Now it happens on this World Wide Web thing that we're dealing with.
Everybody's not doing it, right? Something to that.
All right. 6:38. Everybody's going to be ducking and covering tonight after midnight when the rain starts coming in. Let's talk to Rhonda right now about how much is coming.
That's the next bigger storm that we see arriving. It will bring some strong wind to the coast. There's a high wind watch up for the coast for after midnight into tomorrow morning. But until then, I have to tell you, pretty decent day. One of the better days, in fact, the best day, I think, of the week. Here is Time Saver Traffic with KEX's Michael Convery.
We got quite a traffic mess to talk about right now. Rhonda, again, Chopper 2 up over the scene of this dental office fire in the Tigard area. Photographer Mike Warner up in Chopper 2. Just got some new information from the fire department.
Yeah, they recalled the second alarm, which means they knocked this. Pretty much got this thing knocked down. The road is going to be blocked. Durham is blocked between Bonita and 74th Avenue because of all the fire crews. They do have this fire under control. The roof of the building is not a good thing. They cleared off all the firefighters, so there is some major damage to the building. But we're going to stay over this. As much information as we get, we'll pass it along to you. It's Mike Warner, Chopper 2. Back to you, Michael.
Sounds good. The other big problem, of course, is I-84 eastbound. Still closed. Will be likely all day, according to ODOT, from Troutdale out to Hood River due to the rock slide. So the best way into the gorge is to hop across the river, use the SR-14 eastbound route on the Washington side of the river, and then you can cross at Hood River or Benjamin to get back onto I-84. That will cost you $1. Or if you want to head out to the Dalles, you could use that bridge and cross the river. That is free. Let's take a quick look at the commute times here in the metro area. 16 minutes on the Sunset, 14 minutes down through Clackamas County, and pretty routine about 15 minutes early on out of Vancouver.
Michael, thank you. It is 6:41. Another winter storm pounds the East Coast. Up next, a news to go. The city is preparing for a wallop along the Atlantic and in the southeastern U.S.
Another check on today's question of the day. What did a Yahoo survey reveal 65% of people do every time they buy a new car? Kayla says they spill a soda in it. Doggone it. Share your responses and have the correct answer in about 15 minutes. Live picture from Chopper 2 right now over that commercial fire in Tigard. Mike Warner, what's new?
TV FNR, Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue is now saying the fire is out. The fire is out. Like I said before, there is some major roof damage up there, so the building is really damaged. Nobody was hurt. The fire is out, but the road is blocked. Durham Road is blocked between 74th and Bonita in Tigard, so you're not going to be able to get through there for probably a couple of hours, but the fire is out and nobody's injured. That's the good news.
You know what, Mike, and we even have a nice tweet from the city of Tigard thanking us for the information for the surrounding community around that, so nice job to you and Jared and Chopper 2.
Thank you.
And that is a busy road this time of morning, so steer clear if you can until they get all that cleared away. We are at 6:45. You know that's news to go time. We'll get you everything you need to start your day in these next 15 minutes.
Much of the eastern U.S. is dealing with a storm that's canceled thousands of flights all around the country. That includes 10 flights in and out of Portland International Airport. Live pictures for you right now from New York City. A lot of snow there, and today the storm could bring another foot of snow to Philadelphia, D.C., and Boston. For a closer look at where that snow is falling, let's start with Ingrid Allstadt in North Carolina.
I'm Ingrid Allstead in Asheville, where the snow has been falling since 9 a.m. yesterday, and it has stacked up all across the mountains. I want to show you how much snow we have here The snow is all the way up to my wrist at this point. I am a little bit off of downtown Asheville, right off Patton Avenue, and I-240 is behind me. You can see that the interstates are much better. We just saw some cars drive by, but officials are still telling everyone to please stay off the roads. As you can see, this is what side roads are going to be looking like. DOT officials tell me all side roads, really bad conditions right now. And yes, it is still snowing. For now, I'm Ingrid Alstead in Asheville.
I'm Megan Gillen in the Federal Hill neighborhood of Baltimore, Maryland, where the snow and the ice is just beating down on us here this morning, using the hood kind of as a shield because it hurts your face when it comes down. Taking a look at some of the main roads through the downtown area. This is Light Street in our city here, and you can see the roads are certainly passable, but if you don't have four-wheel drive, it's going to be tough for you out here this morning. When you look at how much snow that we've got already here this morning, it's kind of hard to tell. You've got a couple inches of here, but then in some spots, because it's so windy, it's up to my mid-calf here. Our meteorologists are saying we have gotten about 6 to 9 here in Baltimore City, and as you can see, the snow is still falling.
I'm Lincoln Graves, live in Troutdale next to a roadblock on the eastbound on-ramp to I-84. All eastbound lanes of the freeway are closed between here and Hood River because of a big landslide. Traffic is being diverted. You can see them coming off eastbound the I-84 right now, trying to find other ways to get around. For those folks who want to make it towards Hood River, they have to somehow cross into Washington. That's the shortest route, either I-5 or 0205, and then take SR 14 east. This landslide could keep the freeway closed all day long.
I'm K2's Valerie Hurst. Just 1 week till a potential teacher strike in Portland. The district and teachers union meet at 9:30 this morning to keep talks going. But in a meeting last night, the board gave Superintendent Carol Smith emergency temporary power to decide what to do with schools should teachers walk off the job. Options include spending more money, consolidating schools, or even closing schools. Today, a district hotline is up and running for parent questions about the strike. You can get that info on my Twitter and Facebook pages.
And the Trailblazers head into the All-Star break with a disappointing loss on their minds. The Blazers took on the Clippers last night in L.A. Those teams set an NBA record with 40 lead changes. That's how close the game was, but some mistakes down in the end cost the Blazers. Final score, Clippers win at 122 to 117. The Blazers have a break now, then host San Antonio on Wednesday night next week.
Improving weather conditions for your day today as we look from our camera courtesy of the Hood River Inn. Some nice clearing looking off to the east. The snow has melted in most of the gorge and of course here in the valley.
Rhonda, thank you. Chopper 2 up over the scene of the 2-alarm fire earlier this morning in Tigard at a dental facility off of 74th and Durham Road. And again, a live shot from Chopper 2. And again, Mike Warner, we do have a street blocked off there in Tigard, don't we?
Yeah, that's 74th Avenue, and I apologize, I made a mistake earlier. It's 74th Avenue that's blocked off between Durham and Bonita, so it's going to be blocked off. It's a couple of blocks, but it's a major street, so it's going to be blocked off for a couple hours while they get these crews out of here. The fire is out, nobody's injured, but there is major damage to the building, Michael.
Thank you, Mike. Again, with 74th Avenue closed, the time saver in Tigard, use 72nd Avenue as your way to get around that closure for the next couple of hours. Out to the gorge, I-84 eastbound remains closed, likely will be closed most of the day from Troutdale to Hood River. We're talking about just eastbound I-84. Westbound is open due to that rock slide, so the best way into the gorge is to head over north of the river, use SR 14 as your alternate.
Today could be a big day for Cover Oregon. We're going to look at the hearings and announcements that could dig further into the troubled healthcare exchange. That's next.
Taking a look at the Dow, we want to show you how things are shaping up this morning. It's down more than 90 points. You can see information in this morning that the number of people claiming unemployment benefits rose unexpectedly last week. So we have an eye on Wall Street. We'll let you know if there are any major developments. What to watch for is next, and the answer to our question of the day. Breaking news from Vancouver. Take a look. Police want to know if you've seen 12-year-old Hannah Turkington. Officers say she was with a friend and told her mom she'd be home at 6:30 last night, but she did not come home. If you know where she is or you see her, call 911. So we are right now about to tweet out a link to you right now so your school can win. You need to vote for this week's winner of Cash for Schools. K2 and McLaughlin Jeep are giving away a total of $40,000 to 4 schools over 4 weeks.
You have until noon today to vote this one last time for this week's winner. So go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/KATU News. You want to like the page, click on the Cash for Schools icon, and then pick your school. We're going to be live at the winning school tomorrow on KATU News This Morning. And look out, Washougal, we are dressed in orange and black because we're visiting you to give your check that you guys won last week.
Just hit tweet, so that link is easy to find if you follow us on Twitter. The weather kept us from getting out to Washougal last Friday, so we're excited to deliver the check this morning, and we look forward to seeing you.
And thankfully, the weather will not stop you today.
Yes.
It's looking like a pretty decent day. Partly cloudy to mostly cloudy, only a few scattered showers, 53 the high. But late tonight into tomorrow, we have a storm coming in, up to an inch of rain with it, and stronger winds along the coast again, gusts near 60 miles per hour, high wind watch. Saturday morning, another one not quite as strong, but another dose of steady rain in the morning. Looks like scattered showers into Sunday, but on President's Day, yet another storm system with up to an inch of rain. So we have that ongoing flood threat around our area.
Final look at our question of the day. What did a Yahoo survey reveal 65% of people do every time they buy a new car?
The answer is they pay the full sticker price.
That's shocking to me.
Wow. That takes out half the fun. Stay with us. We're going to keep track of that fire situation in Tigard. Sharper 2 over it all morning.
Have a good day.